Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. And it's been a while since I've driven a BMW vehicle. And what we have for today's episode is a very special one. Because if you're a long-time diehard fan of my channel, I have said that my dad loves the 1 Series and the X1 models. But I never disclosed his true dream car. So back at the 2015 Manila International Auto Show, BMW Philippines gave us this, the BMW 420d M Sport. Yes, this is one of his absolute dream BMWs because it's a coupe and it's a diesel vehicle while being a, of course, BMW itself. I'm a bit fanboying at the moment. My apologies because this is the first time I'm going to drive this vehicle. But first of all, I would like to thank Adrian1011 and Doon.ph. This is actually his rental car for today, and I'd like to thank as well the owner of this vehicle so much for allowing me to shoot this. Link in the description down below if you want to drive this very beautiful BMW 420d. Apart from, since this being the F80 model, this is still a very distinct looking BMW. So you get your traditional kidney nose grille, and the ground clearance of this is surprisingly at a decent 130 millimeters. This being one of the base models of BMW 4 Series here in the Philippines. These are running at all 4 corners at 255, 35, and 19 series tires and wheels respectively. So I expect this to be a very fun vehicle to drive. And on the side profile being a 2-door coupe, it is your traditional BMW. And this being a base, a 4 Series model, up above here, you do not have a carbon fiber roof, but a regular black roof. Powering this BMW 420d M Sport, so being a D model, this is powered by a diesel engine. Oh, and very heavy and long hood, as you can see. And first thing I noticed when I opened the hood of this vehicle, the engine sits a little bit further back to the front wheels, therefore making this a front mid-engine vehicle, which is a surprise for me. So back here, we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine that produces 188 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque, mated to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, which again is up to par with the current BMW models. And yeah, this engine in a 2-door coupe, I'm expecting a lot of fun. Now here at the rear of this 420d, well, a very classic design in my opinion only, and there's no badges here whatsoever, which is a surprise. So some people, if you're non-car enthusiast, can mistake this as an M4. Just saying. I'm not saying I'm one of them, but you can tell immediately that this is a regular 4 Series. You have a single exhaust pipe here on the left side. This is a surprise. Yes, you do not have an electronic tailgate, but if you long press this here on the key, rise, look at that. And being a coupe as well, this has a staggering 445 liters, which I can fit easily. And actually, that's a lot of room. My knee has just amount of headroom, knee room, whatever. But this is a great and practical BMW. And here in the interior of this BMW, of this 420d, well, it's very classy because you have conventional buttons here for your climate and radio functions. So easy, on, off. You don't have to scroll all of the screens here in the dashboard in current BMWs nowadays. And here the door card, being a 2-door coupe, the doors itself is very long, but all the quality is very good. And even this part is a squidgy type of material. It's not the plastic types. Again, taken of the newer models. And yeah, this is a very nice cabin, I have to say, because everything is old school. And still have tilt and telescopic for the steering wheel. And being a BMW, being the ultimate driving machine, these are your driving modes. So you have here Eco, Pro, Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. We'll try our best to use the Sport Plus driving modes here, but of course, with Adrian's experience with this vehicle, yeah, this is a very fun BMW to drive. Again, more traditional than usual. Yeah, the steering wheel is very nice, very chunky, and you can see all the M Sport badges and stitchings all around. This is actually much larger than usual, but it's not as chunky again to that of the newer model, so making this a little bit more flexible to use, and you can feel that it's more sportier than usual. Here on the left side, these are all of your light controls. Infotainment system. I'm not sure if this is iDrive 5 or 4. Just correct myself here on screen. And there's no Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but at least you have Bluetooth stuff. And my favorite parts of every BMW, you can check the vehicle status. Here's like for your TPMS, your engine oil, so on and so forth. Again, it's a lovely cabin because everything's old school, all nice to the touch. Yeah, the quality here is, I'll be very honest, better than most current BMWs that I've sat in. So here in the middle, you get your gear shift, driving modes, electronic stability control, more buttons here, including for controlling the infotainment system itself. The seats here are lovely. It's leather and there's red stitching all around. And there's a lot of bolstering. So I expect this, again, the theme of this video, to be very, very fun to drive. And like most BMWs, you get your thigh supports here for both front seats. And glove box is actually pretty small, but it holds your very lovely BMW manual, which is nice. And above here, LED lights. And the ceiling of this 420D is all Alcantara, so it's very, very nice to the touch. Visor, you get a LED light with vanity mirror. This don't extend, if I recall. Yeah, but I mean, in my driving position already, it's covering my eyes, so that's already a nice plus. And as you saw earlier in the intro of this interior, this is an adjustable central armrest, so you can place your elbows here comfortably. And once you open it up, yeah, decent amount of space, but at least you have an aux-in and a Type A USB port. Being a very large BMW, still the space here is immense. Like, I have enough headroom. I'm only 5'4", but look at that. I can stretch my head all the way forward. Feet and knee room is very good, to say the least, for a two-door coupe. And fun fact as well with this 420D models, there's actually a Gran Coupé available, which means there's two actual doors here at the side. The space here in the back is still retained because Gran Coupe actually means a coupe that has just two extra doors. I see why they did it because, again, it's so practical here at the rear seats. And here you have two air conditioning vents here in the middle, along too with a very lovely 12-volt socket cover. And the rear seats is as is, but like most BMWs, you can fold down the central seats if you want to put longer stuff as such. And here, another party piece, pop-out cup holders for the central armrest. Still very business-like here at the rear seats, despite not having two extra doors here. And to Adrian's experience, since he was carrying friends here at the with this car rather, so someone sitting here in the third row, despite the extra shelves here in my middle part, yeah, it's still actually a comfortable experience, even though my head is kind of over hitting the ceiling already. Yeah, it's still not bad for short journeys. Right, let's go for a drive. And before we set off, traditional of all BMW drivers, let's make Porma with this. And I was able to drive this earlier, just around here in Esteban. Yeah, you sit actually super, super low here in the cabin. So it makes it feel sportier now than usual. And the mistake of mine, being a classic-ish BMW, you do not have an auto hold system, but you do have a regular handbrake itself, which is a nice touch. So here we're now in comfort mode, and that's set off. Woo! This is fun. Okay, right, that's just in comfort mode. So let's try sport mode just in a bit. And I have not tried yet a manual mode, so this is going to be an insane experience. So now let's try manual mode and then put you to Sport Plus. I like the paddles are here too in the steering wheel, so it's very easy to reach. And this is why I like traditional 8-speed automatic transmissions. There are no dual clutch lightning fast, but it's literally the best of both worlds. And of course, the transmission in Sport Plus is, yeah, much more insane. So again, let's go back to Eco Pro, because this is not our cars, literally, right? This is your rental car. And on his experiences, since you have this for a couple of days now, right? Yeah. His driving was more enthusiastic, well, more or less like mine, driving around in the city. But this being the diesel engine, I mean manual mode, my apologies, he was able to get 9 to 10 kilometers per liter in the city with 4 people, 5 people, right? And without even trying. That's impressive to say the least. So this is kind of like in the ballpark of my price range of the dream cars that I want to own right now. This is unexpectedly a solid choice. Staying again, it's no Alfa Romeo, like, however, this is a good second place, but the better all-rounder, because there are times the Alpha is just too sharp. This one's a little bit more, but better as an all-rounder. And the Sting itself is still very sharp, to say the least. Better than most of the Europeans, apart from the aforementioned Italian brand. But as a daily, just driving here sensibly now in Makati, yeah, the brakes, again, among one of the best. Despite this 420 being long and a little bit wide than usual, it's so easy to drive. Just watch out for the visibility up front. Hence, you have the long hood itself. And speaking of that long hood, this 4 Series, if not mistaken, only just doing my general knowledge of cars, this started off as a M3, M4 for this generation. That's why you can see in the engine bay, there's still a lot of space. At least there's more space for the mechanics to work with this vehicle in case and only you have a problem. But I've heard so far the ownership experience with these BMW models are actually really good, and some are really more reliable too than usual. And since we have the space now, and too, despite on 19s, you can feel all the firmness as is, but that is given, and I'm so used already with the BMW ecosystem. I love the ride of this despite being a little bit more firm than usual. One more time. Whew. Finally got to drive the complete set of my dad's dream cars, and they're all BMWs. Yeah, I would say what a car, and probably one of my next choices too. And on that note, again, I'd like to thank this guy, Eden1011, and to Don PH, the real owner of this car, since this is a rental vehicle. I'll just put the links in the description down below if you want to rent this car at a reasonable price. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you soon with more BMW reviews. Bye-bye.